Thank you all for joining. I would like to welcome you to another Work Package 6 InfoShare. Today we will talk about QKD networks in NREN environments, and we will have GRNET, and we will also have Mihai Carabas later from Romania. We will have the two presentations. In both presentations, you will be able to ask questions in the chat, but also at the end of each presentation, and then in the end of our QKD InfoShare, you will also be able to ask more questions if you would like. So we are not rushed for time. Just indicate in the chat or at the end when we have a separate question and answer session. So let us now start with Evangelia Athanasaki. She's here from GRNET, and she will tell us what's going on with HellasQCI in Greece. Evangelia, please share your screen.
Okay. I'm Evangelia Athanasaki from the National Infrastructure for Research and Technology, GRNET, from Greece. And I am here to present our national quantum communication infrastructure project, HellasQCI, and how we have deployed so far our infrastructure. So the EuroQCI declaration targets to develop and deploy a quantum communication infrastructure across the whole European Union and also overseas that will enable information and data to be transmitted and stored ultra securely and leading communication assets all over the EU. The Greek Ministry of Digital Governance signed the EuroQCI declaration since 2019 and appointed GRNET to participate to the EuroQCI and be responsible for the national proposal. The Greek ministry, showing its commitment to support the national QCI implementation, included quantum communication in the Digital Transformation National Bible, which sets the national strategic goals for the forthcoming period. And HellasQCI makes a clear contribution to the policy objectives of EuroQCI. The project started in January 2023, finishes in June 2026. So we are now in the middle of the project duration at the first phase of deploying the QKD network in large scale. Our goal is to build the national pilot of a quantum key distribution backbone network. In order to achieve this, we are deploying in HellasQCI 3 national metropolitan area network test sites, one in Athens, Greece's capital, one in Thessaloniki in northern Greece and our terrestrial border with the rest of the countries, and one in Heraklion of Crete Island in southern Greece. We are also going to provide terrestrial connections from the metropolitan area networks and test sites to 3 observatories that we have the luck to be selected by the European Space Agency to be upgraded through several programs to optical ground stations, meaning to have QKD capabilities and be connected with the terrestrial QKD segment of the HellasQCI. So the Athens site will be connected with Helmos Observatory in Peloponnese. The Thessaloniki site will be connected with Aristarchos Telescope Holomodas Observatory in Chalkidiki, and Skinakas Observatory will be connected with Heraklion, the site. In this slide, you can see the 3 observatories that are being transformed right now into optical ground station Helmos, Holomodas, and Skinakas, as we said, upon the availability of the Eagle 1 satellite. This is the demonstration satellite of the EuroQCI. Greece will be among the first countries to validate the test and test both the terrestrial and the space EuroQCI segments. You can also see at the figure the architectural design of the Eagle 1 satellite, where Greece is a hub. Furthermore, Greece has another great advantage, which is partially the reason why these 3 observatories were included in the ESA program. This is the ideal location and the clear skies of Greece. You can see in the figure down on the right. The cloud coverage, where Greece is, where Crete is, the island of Crete, and how fortunate we are for the clear sky. So Greece can serve as an excellent security hub for the space QKD segment of the EuroQCI, but more specifically about the southern Eastern Europe. Here you can see the 3 metropolitan area test sites that we're deploying in Athens, Thessaloniki, and Heraklion. We have different QKD domains, the governmental domain, the industrial domain, and the research and innovation domain. In total, the HellasQCI project is deploying 27 QKD nodes, permanent and non-permanent, in order to implement our use cases. 16 in Athens, 6 in Thessaloniki, and 5 in Heraklion, Crete. By ending the first phase of the national QKD deployment, we will have 12 governmental nodes, international security authority nodes, connected with QKD equipment and fibers. We will also have 2 QKD nodes for the entanglement distribution network. The HellasQCI is paving the way to the quantum internet. And of course, we will have 6 educational QKD nodes. According to the EuroQCI timeline, until 2028, it's a fully experimental phase, and a lot of research is needed in order to make sure that this QKD network will be secure and operational. This is the reason why we need the research and education nodes as well. Here you can see that we have 16 multidisciplinary use cases in HellasQCI in different application scenarios. Actually, we have 4 different sectors. We have the national security sector, the public health sector, the industry and critical infrastructure sector, and the research sector. The first 1.5 years, we have demonstrated more than 10 experiments in order to prepare the ground for the larger scale deployment of the HellasQCI network and the preparation of the use cases. These are free space optics, switch DVQKD, QKD over fiber to the home, hybrid post-quantum communication, the QKD integration, QRNG deployment, and physical and path-based authentication schemes for the QKD, 5G, etc. We also have more than 10 scientific publications proving the novelty of the QKD experiment, and we perform in order to be ready for the large-scale deployment. Okay. This is the HellasQCI architecture. We have defined the architecture we are going to use from now on. We have a 3-layer format, a QKD layer that supports the relay DVQKD, a KMS, key management system layer that is fully compatible with the QKD 14 for the key management, 15 for the QKD SDN control, and 18 for linking with the application layer orchestration, and an application layer that supports all different layers of encryption for the end users. The layer 1, the optical transport network security, layer 2, the MACsec, and layer 3, the application security layer. Where we are with the infrastructure. The HellasQCI is an ambitious project and has devoted 60% of its budget, more than 6 million, into the infrastructure deployment. So we have completed 4 large procurements, one for the fibers, 650 kilometers of dark fibers for the QKD networks, which give us 27 links in total. This was contracted in May 2024, and we estimate the completion of this in April 2025. The next one is for the QKD devices. We have now 11 pairs of DV QKD devices and 16 SNSPDs detectors for the quantum Internet equipment. And next, we are running 4 procurements. The EPPS sources and the trusted node racks are almost finished. While the encryptors and the switches have some more way to go, we are in the request for information phase. In order to validate this HellasQCI architecture, we conducted a proof of concept demonstrator in a real field in Athens in a 3-node full ring configuration between GRNET and the University of Athens. The max distance was 45 kilometers, as you can see in the figure, where every node is a fully integrated vertical stack featuring the 3 layers of the HellasQCI architecture. This proof of concept have a number of key features and innovations. For example, if the QKD keys fail at the quantum layer, then a secure management server and orchestrator that we have at the KMS layer continues to generate the safe classical keys. Also, we support optimized QKD resources. As you can see the figure, we are using only 2 pairs of QKD devices for 3 different nodes. Now, as of this month, September 2024, we have started receiving our own QKD devices and also the dark fibers for the HellasQCI. So we are going to proceed and expand the proof of concept with 3 more links and 2 more nodes using our own freshly acquired equipment. We are building right now a complex network topology of 4 nodes between GRNET, University of Athens, the Technical University of Athens, and the Research Foundation of Democritos in order to test and accept the delivery of the devices. As you can see the figure on the right, the red boxes are ID quantum devices and the blue boxes are the thin quantum devices. In total, we will have a cumulative distance of 120 kilometers of fiber in order to perform this acceptance and delivery test. Upon the acceptance of our QKD devices, then these devices will move to Athens, Thessaloniki, and Crete in order to perform its partner their use cases. And at the end, after these 16 use cases are performed, these devices will be placed into their final installation positions, which is the governmental and the national security authority nodes. And you can see this more analytically. In this slide, you can see on the right the actual QKD devices acquired from the procurement, placed in temporary racks for the phase 1 proof of concept to be performed to test the interoperability of the ID quantic and the thin quantum QKD devices in the KMS layer. As we said, the next phase, phase 2, will include a topology of 8 nodes in GRNET, University of Athens, Technical University of Athens, and Democritos at a total distance of 120 kilometers in order to test and accept the delivery of the devices. This is expected in December 2024, this year, at the end of the year. In phase 3, after the acceptance of the QKD devices, they will move to other HellasQCI consortium members for the 16 use cases to be performed. This is expected until October 2025. And in phase 4, upon the completion of the use cases, the devices will be finally installed in the governmental and national security authority nodes in December 2025. And this is phase 2, the topology of 8 nodes, as we discussed in the previous slide, with Alice and Bob devices in the 4 different sites. And here, this is the placement of QKD devices in phase 3. in different non-permanent nodes with different topologies in the 3 selected cities, Athens, Thessaloniki, and Crete, Heraklion, Crete, for the implementation of the 16 use cases, the national security use case, research, industrial, and public health use cases. For example, use cases 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 13 will be conducted in Athens. Use case 6 will be in Crete, and use case 3 will utilize the space segment for the secure communication of remote governmental nodes among 3 cities. So this is the initial design for the use cases setup. One of the main goals of HellasQCI is to provide a holistic training environment, and we are addressing these needs into 3 pillars of users: the academic and the research staff, the experts in digital security and cybersecurity, and end users from the public and private sector. We had already last year the first QCI training event, that it was very successful, and we had the attendance of 375 people online and physical, 20 lessons learned, and all these lessons have been uploaded into the training platform that we have developed and is being used as a repository for the training material. Moreover, at the beginning of this September 2024, we had also a very successful 2 training events in Crete with more than 400 attendees, online and physical, with the participation of 14 countries, 40 speakers, and 2 demos. So all the presentations, as we said, the lectures are all available in the HellasQCI training platform. For HellasQCI, the synergies and the cooperation with EuroQCI is of great importance. So we have an excellent connection with Petrus and Nostradamus project. We are supporting the thematic working groups, for example, the quantum strategy group of GÉANT, and we are collaborating with the rest of the European Union quantum technology research project. The HellasQCI has a very close cooperation with more than 16 national QCI, and the attendance of so many national QCI in that last training is just a sign of this. We have supported many events for the EuroQCI, such as Skylight, and we have organized another 5 events. This path towards the last 2 years led us in organizing in Athens a well-established series of events, the QCI Days, that started in Madrid. Last year it was in Vienna, and now next year, 2025, at the end of April, it will be in Athens. So we will co-organize this event with EuroQCI Spain, the Spanish National QCI, and the Austrian National QCI, the QCI CAT, and to invite you all to be here with us. I would like to inform you that HellasQCI is also building a community with all national stakeholders that they can take benefit and support the HellasQCI network to gather expertise and share the know-how. We have attracted so far 22 registrations from the public and the private sector, the governmental sector, the educational sector, and the industry. So in every opportunity, we try to invite all stakeholders from Greece to participate in this community. And what's more, HellasQCI is closely monitoring and participates to all the activities regarding the QKD standards and certification in European and international level in order for the architecture to be compatible with them. And this is very important. Next steps. I would like to conclude this presentation with the next steps for HellasQCI project. After the successful proof of concept we held in Greece, now with our own QKD devices and the dark fibers that are being developed at the moment, we are proceeding with a large-scale deployment of HellasQCI network. We are also developing a multi-domain QKD network solution that it is very important to support our individual governmental, industrial, and educational quantum network domains, but also for interconnecting with other national QCI. Following the European Commission's recommendation for the post-quantum communication, we are planning to integrate also PQC into our architecture. The next phase for the EuroQCI is safe, and Greece is committed to participate. And we are right now in discussion with the Ministry of Digital Governance and the Greek Ministry and the other national QCIs for all terrestrial and space connections. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Evangelia. It was a very interesting presentation. Do we have any questions? I see nobody's raising a hand, but I have some questions. What's the longest link within your test beds that is terrestrial? I know I saw 45 kilometers in one slide.
Yes. It is going to be 45.
Okay, that's the longest link you're trying
yes.
to bridge.
In total, it will be 120, but the longest will be 45.
Okay. And you said you're using QKD equipment from two different vendors, and if I understood you correctly, you're also um, producing your own QKD system, or because you said we will have our own.
It is our own devices. Petro,
Oh,
I
you mean
think he raised his hand probably about the distance. Petro, do you want to speak?
Yes, I want to comment about the distance. Maybe the point-to-point link is 45 kilometers, the largest, but as we have relay nodes, we actually can test the communication between 100 kilometers because we can use relay nodes in between. So we can test the communication between A and B in two different ends in a distance of 100 more kilometers. So we can evaluate the system at the edge of the performance because the IBQ have 30 dB threshold about the working area of the attenuation. And so this is the limit, I think it's about 100 kilometers. So we can, with this configuration, we will be able to test this. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And with the QKD equipment,
no, we have
no.
not built our QKD equipment. It's from IDQ and Quantum only.
Okay, so but since you're using two different vendor types, are you also doing interoperability tests, or do you have you do?
Yes, this is one of our scenarios. One of our use cases is to test the interoperability between these two vendors. Now the interoperability has been tested in the KMS layer. And if you mean if we can test to have analysis from IDQ and above from Quantum, this is I don't know if we can achieve this, but the interdomain interoperability by means that we have an area or a domain that we can use Quantum. And another area we can use IDQ, and these two areas can change keys with an orchestrator or with an upper layer orchestrator key management system. It's one of our plans. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Could you say also
saying our own QKD devices, it was because in the first proof of concept, they borrowed us some devices
okay.
in order to make the initial test.
I see. Now I understand. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Um, could you also say something about the KMS systems that you're using? Is that something that's also by one of the companies where you have the QKD devices from, or is this independent software or?
Right now, it's from evolution. The proof of concept has been evaluated with Evolution Q software. It's an independent. It's not from IDQ or Quantum. But at the end, on the production environment, we plan to test and install the IDQ's key management system. That is, I think, it's called Clarion.
Okay, so now you're using proprietary software, or I couldn't understand you.
It is from the company called Evolution Q. Evolution Q.
Okay.
You can see it in the middle layer.
Okay, Evolution Q. Yeah, I see. I
Yes,
see.
this is an independent software that has the ability to perform the HC14 and the HC15 functionality according to the standards. And with this software, we can make the merge of the quantum layer with the application layer more smoothly, we can say.
Okay, thank you. So I see a question in the chat. What are the steps involved in ensuring the secure relay of keys from a source to a destination?
The steps involved in securing the secure relay of keys from the source to destination. I mean,
the architecture, the three-layered architecture?
No, the security relay, in what level do you mean by the security relay between the KMS layer and the application layer?
Summit, could you clarify what you meant?
If it means the trusted node environment we have built and we're going to certify our places that they're going to play the role of the relay nodes according to our national security standards regarding the physical security and the certification with our national industrial security procedures, let's say. Okay, this is the way that right now the system works with by secure the places that we are going to do the relay, where the keys are exposed. And so it's let's say a physical way to secure the relay of the keys.
Okay, thank you very much. One last question. What would you say now that you have your first experiences? What would you think are the biggest challenges or the biggest issues that you had to tackle? What do NRENs face, in your opinion, as the biggest challenge when they try to set up a QKD network?
I think the interoperability, for sure. And the gathering of the national stakeholders was a big challenge for us to gather all the community and have the funding also from the national funding or because it is not 100% from European Commission, so it was a big and time-consuming procedure. I don't know,
Yes.
Petros, if you want to add something more from the technical aspect.
So the technical aspect, I think that we now test we are going to test the performance and the stability of the systems in a large scale, larger than the POC. There are many things that we can test and maybe find some ways to suggest improvements, so on. Right now, we are considering about the various interactions between the different layers. I mean that maybe the QKD layer it works as it's supposed to be, but then we have to see how the key exchange between the various subsystems until the application layer is going to perform. We have to stress the environment. We have to reach the limits, and then we can consider other things like redundancy solutions in case of attacks, in case of failures. There are many things that we are going to perform during the use cases and other scenarios that we have in mind. And I think many conclusions we came up after all this work.
Thank you very much. I see two more questions in the chat. One is, thank you for this nice talk. Is there a reason why you focus on DV, QKD, and do not include CV, QKD, or do you plan to change this in the future?
I'm not the right person to ask to answer this.
If I am not wrong, we are discussing to test also the CVQKD at some point, but the DVQKD was the most recommending for our case, for the long distance connection. So we have.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And another one, excellent presentation. May I ask, in case of failure of the SMS or any QKD node, how does the system handle recovery, and are there any backup mechanisms for orchestrating key distribution?
In case of the SMS is from Nokia. Okay, we use the SMS in order to do the orchestration of the system. SMS has its own redundancy, so we can set up SMS with a second device. If we lose a QKD node, the SMS, the system has itself the ability to converge and use its own quantum, let's say, secure keys by using classical methods. So the POC, the proof of concept that we have installed with all these subsystems. One of the reasons we did this is to prove the coexistence of a QKD environment with a quantum safe classical environment, let's say, and to show that in case we have attacks or other troubles in the QKD layer, we can change classical, and the security will not be compromised. The data transfer that I see another question. The data transfer we plan to achieve is about 500 Gs, okay, in the proof of concept, okay. Here. The controller orchestrates functionality and why it is positioned in the KMS layer. It's not in the KMS layer. It's outside the KMS layer. It's not positioned well in the figure we see. Okay, it's outside the KMS layer. It communicates with the KMS layer, but the position is not right in the figure. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I see no more questions. So thank you again for this exciting presentation, and please come back at the end of the project and tell us how it went and what other experiences you have had. So let us now continue with our second speaker, Mihai Carabas. Hello, Mihai, from UPB, Romania, and he will give us the latest on the RoNaQCI project or RoNaQCI project. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yep, RoNaQCI.
Okay.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Mihai Carabas. I'm professor at Politehnica Bucharest. I'm also a member of RoNaQCI, the NREN of Romania. And today, my colleague Valeriu could not be here from RoNaQCI, but I will present you the current status of the RoNaQCI project. In this project, there are two main members. It's Politehnica Bucharest and also RoNaQCI, the Romanian NREN, which is providing the base infrastructure. When Susanne asked me to do the presentation, I told her, okay, we have a lot of progress in the aspects of documents, paperwork, trainings, but no updates on the infrastructure, because unfortunately we are a little bit stuck with the co-financing. I'll tell you a little bit later about where we are. In this presentation, we will see more of architecture stuff, what we have done with the training materials, also what we have, the education quantum hubs and so on and so forth. We don't have final deployment yet. So you know that this is part of EuroQCI. Some numbers for the ones who weren't at the first presentation, because I have gave another presentation, I don't know, 1 year ago at the same meeting. So we are 30 partners, over which 24 are full partners and 6 are only participating in the use cases. Also, this project benefits from RoNaQCI huge network expertise and in-kind contribution, because all of the fibers, dark fibers, transportation of the DVDM lambdas and so on and so forth are brought by RoNaQCI with no cost for this project. In terms of numbers, we have 15,000 kilometers of QCI network, which includes the metropolitan ones. In total, we'll have 36 QKD links. And later in this presentation, I will tell you how many are for the national network, how many are for the metropolitan network. We try to cover the main points of the country with the main research areas, university. Also, we have public bodies, data centers, and also a medical clinic and hospital. So we try to cover physically all these domains, and also will create use cases over these domains. As a budget, we targeted the 10 million. The problem is that we don't have yet the 10 million from the Romanian state. So until now, we found means to be able to work at the project, to pay the people to work at the project, to build the architectures, the education plan, the trainings. Here, what was our advantage is that Politehnica had before two QKD links bought before this project. So basically, we had two QKD links on which we could do testing, development, and when we'll have the big network, we'll just extend the POCs at the big network. So this is how we were managed to pass over the first year review, for example, and also be able to not block the project because we don't have the full network. As the objectives, so the first one was to deploy the advanced national quantum systems, basically develop the national Romanian quantum communication infrastructure for QKD. Another very important objective was to test, monitor, and integrate RoNaQCI with the classical communication infrastructure. So again, we have RoNet national DVDM network, and we try to integrate and also reuse as much as we could. The objective 3 is to develop advanced use cases. So this project was more about, okay, let's buy some equipments from known vendors, build a network, and then develop use cases. So in this project, I saw the questions about developing your own boxes and so on and so forth. So our proposal was about creating the network, national and metropolitan networks, and build use cases over this network. So this is and was our focus when we have it on the proposal. In different strategic interests, like public authorities, governmental, universities, research institutes, and private companies. The other objective of 4 was to create a large number of trained users. And for this, we will see that we created 18 quantum education hubs. Basically, in each partner has its own quantum hub where he can do trainings. And the last objective, which I think is for all the NRENs, is to participate in the UI design and development efforts for the quantum internet. This basically is the next call, which is the cross-border connections for EuroQCI. In particular, RoNet is taking care of 2 work packages, the national and metropolitan networks. And because this is a GÉANT presentation, I will make a focus on the architecture of the network for the two networks, the national and metropolitan networks. Basically, also RoNet build the specs and tenders with UPB. At this point, you will see that all the tenders are done. Actually, we have a winner, but we cannot sign the delivery contracts yet because we don't have a line of the budget from the government. It's only something about, it's not about the money, it's about some paperwork that needs to be done in order to be able to sign the contracts, the delivery contracts. Let's start with the national network. And I will bring in some basic theory. Sorry if it's too simple. RoNaQCI, it is good to mention, for example, compared to Greece, it is concentrated on the fiber optics transmission. So we didn't have in our proposals any free space satellite links. Okay, we have 2 points, Alice and Bob. The first question is how you can amplify a signal. You cannot. So in a QKD network, you will have to have a tracing node. So I saw earlier also the question, I'm anticipating the questions. How do you protect the relay of the keys? Basically, between 2 points here, the tracing node is a relay of the key. And a lot of people was asking me, how do you protect them? So usually the tracing nodes are the variable ones. Again, in this project, we do not aim to provide a solution to this. I know you have to provide in the end the physical security of that place where you have the tracing node. For example, here I have a simulation for connecting the Bucharest to Iași. These are 2 counties, sorry, in 2 cities in Romania. And what we have done, we will have a tracing node in different cities throughout this connection. And basically, you'll see that all these tracing nodes are basically hosted in the same environment with the DVDM network, with the DVDM amplifiers. This is where I told you we will reuse a lot of RoNaQCI network. So basically, we just have those places with air conditioning, with power supplies, and so on and so forth. We just put the nodes there with also security. As you all know, between Alice and Bob, we have multiple communication channels. So we have the quantum channel, service channel. Again, this channel depends on the equipment types, but you'll see them, a part of them at all the equipments. Service key management, service channel, and management channel. This is what we have took into consideration in our, when we try to see how can we integrate the QKD network in our classical DVDM network. So you see that you have a lot of channels, we need a lot of fibers. What one can do, so we can use only one fiber for all of them, so you can multiplex. Again, you will see all the channels, the classical channels, service, KMS, management in the C band, in the 1550, and the quantum channel in the O band. So the quantum channel is basically a low power signal, has a low power signal, and cannot be multiplexed with the DVDM in the technologies we have studied. The problem here is that basically if you put quantum channel in O band, you'll have twice loss than the C band. Of course, this is not a problem for short distances, but it is a big problem for the national network. And this is why we have another option, basically use one fiber for all the classical channels and use another one for the quantum channel to be able to use also the C band from the quantum one. So here are some calculus, simple calculus, okay? So for the C band, we took a 0.25, okay? It depends on the fiber, on the current status of the network. We try to take a medium from our network. And in the O band is almost double. So transceiver nowadays can work at a loss of 30 dBs, even in the classical technology. And if we look at the QKD equipment, you'll find also equipments that are working at maximum 30 dBs. So this is somehow a limit nowadays. And if we made the calculus with the C band, we can see that we can reach without any trusted nodes or amplifiers 120 kilometers. And when talking about with 30 dBs in O band, you can see that we can reach 60 kilometers, which is a problem because usually in the classical networks, you don't have the amplifiers at 60 kilometers. And I told you earlier that we wanted to reuse the current locations we have in our network. So this is why we have chosen to have another fiber for the quantum channel and to multiplex all the other channels into another fiber. Actually, all the other channels will be multiplexed using our current DVDM network. So basically, we will have no cost here. We already have the DVDM network working. We'll allocate 3 other channels to transport them for the Alice Bob. Basically, we will have to bring only one fiber for the quantum channel. Further, it was even RoNaQCI is providing this as an in-kind contribution. It was the question from where we will get the other fiber. So at this point, we have 5,000 kilometers of fiber optics. So we only have 2 cores. We didn't have the third core. The fiber is not actually our own. It's a partnership with another company. So the third core, basically from the quantum, we had to buy it, but we wanted to see if this was the best solutions, and this is why we took the fiber provider A. We told them because we aren't allowed here to put names. So this is the current fiber provider for DVDM, and we also requested technical specifications and also price ranges to another fiber provider. To the other fiber provider, of course, we had to build everything from scratch. And this was basically compared to see which is the best approach. And in the end, for all the links we wanted to create, we ended up with 16 links with our current provider and 20 links with the other fiber provider. Actually, our current fiber provider has the best distances because it's the railway company. So the railways have the shortest path between two cities almost in any country. And usually all the other fiber providers are putting the fibers throughout the national roads, which are a little bit longer, and they also have a lot of drop-offs in different cities to connect multiple clients. And this is why you see these differences. Of course, we have chosen to go with our current fiber provider. This was also an issue to get another core for them, to negotiate with them. So in the end, we managed to go with fiber provider A. This study was done 1 year ago when we were not sure if this is possible, if they have available, and so on and so forth. And this is the current. I hope you can see this map. So basically, this is the current network with black. With the black lines are basically the classical DVDM network. With all these loops. With the red lines, it's the QKD network. The white points you are seeing on the map are basically the DVDM amplifying points or the QKD trusted nodes. Because what we aim in this project is to connect Bucharest to Iași, Bucharest to Cluj, and Bucharest to Timișoara. These are basically three very important cities in Romania, which had a lot of universities, a lot of companies, IT, industrial, and so on and so forth. In these cities, we also have metropolitan networks. I'll come to this later. And also throughout our network, we also caught Craiova, which is a small city, but also we have their partners. And also you will see here Constanța, but unfortunately in Constanța, it is a nice partnership between the Port Authority and a university there in Constanța, but unfortunately we didn't have money to create another link to Constanța. So in Constanța, it's an isolated metropolitan network for local use cases. And all the other points in our network are basically connected between them. So we don't have any let's say, black boxes. Okay. And also you can see that while we have created the network, while we have created a network, you'll see that we are very close to the border. So here Bucharest is very close to Bulgaria, to Ruse. So actually we have a fiber to Giurgiu here. And also we are here in Arad, which is very close to Szeged. We have also a fiber, actually RoNaQCI has its own dark fibers to Vienna here. So we can easily contribute to cross-border connections without being so expensive in creating such a link. Okay, so here we have basically the fiber section, the fiber lengths, and the attenuations for each of the segments. For Bucharest to Iași, so here you see that the maximum length is 108. We also have the attenuations there. So again, this is a working fiber we are using right now. We'll have another core from it. So again, you will see some attenuations being a little bit higher. It can be better, but this is the reality in the field in the end. We also see here Bucharest to Timișoara. Again, here we have bigger distances, 116 kilometers. So here we are pretty at the limit. We will see how it goes, what speeds we will get with distances. And also, if you have seen here, to be able to connect Cluj, we didn't use a direct route. We have been directed from Deva because we didn't have money for more equipment. And so, okay, we'll have a shared segment for Timișoara and Cluj, and we'll split up in the middle of the country. And this is why you will see that here is the calculus for Deva Cluj only. So 2 legs, basically. Again, this is the final network with all the distances. And here are the final, let's say, number of trusted nodes, number of QKD pairs to build the network. So from Bucharest to Iași, we have 5 amplifying points. I'm not talking about amplifying the QKD signal, is the DVDM amplifiers, and they'll have a QKD trusted node. And basically for this, we'll need 6 QKD pairs, for Bucharest Deva Timișoara 8, and for Deva Cluj 2. So there will be 16 QKD pairs, and the total fiber length here will be almost 1,400 kilometers. Of course, each QKD pair, when we created the tender, had specifications in terms of dB, how many dBs they have to support. So basically, all this information was the input of the tender, and basically the producer or the partner of the producer should come with a solution that would cover these distances and also these attenuations. And another thing we have added to the tender is that the fibers are aerial, sorry. So they are going through the air and this was another requirement. Okay, don't ask us for fiber going underground, because don't have the fiber going underground. It is all aerial. Okay. So as I told you, this was all published on in the Journal of European Union, on our Romanian portal. The tender is done. We are waiting for the contract signing. Another point was the metropolitan network. Basically, we have the same debate. We have, should we use only one fiber for the quantum and the other channels, or should we put them separate? For the metropolitan network, the distances are much lower. The maximum one is something like 20 kilometers. You will see later. And this is why we have chosen the first approach, where we have some passive multiplexers where we connect the quantum and the other channels. So basically, you see here that we have short distances under 10 kilometers, and we have 2 exceptions, which are at almost 20 kilometers. And also, usually, especially in crowded cities like Bucharest, there are not so many fibers available to use. And you should also pay, because, for example, in Bucharest, everyone is paying the rent for having a fiber, because it's using the channels of the mayor of the Bucharest, let's say. So again, we have chose this schema of delivering the channels. Here you see some pictures with the MUX demuxes. I know you all know about them. So we have here the 1310, the O-band port, where we'll connect the quantum channel. In the right, we have the DVDM channels, and this is configurable when you order them. We'll use 4 ports DVDM channels. You can order them with 4, 8, and so on and so forth, but because this is again an in-kind contribution, this is not paid from the project, we had to do some economy here and get the cheapest one. And here, in the next slides, we'll have the metropolitan networks. So you see that in Bucharest, in the center here, is basically the national node. So in each country, the center one is the national node from where we connect the other partners. And here is a description of the partner involved, what use cases will provide. So for example, we will connect the Ministry of Education in Bucharest, And the Ministry of Education will be able to talk nationally with other Ministry of Education spaces in the country. And for example, when they have the national evaluation, they can send the subjects through this and encrypt them using QKD network. Sorry, so they can send the subjects and they can encrypt them using the keys took from the QKD network. So this is the educational domain. We have our partner ITA, the Advanced Technology Institute, which is a special communication institute. Again, we have data centers. For example, at Magurele, we have data centers that are running jobs from CERN, and we have different use cases there. And also we have the military. The METRA is our military partner, is the army basically. It's the research part of the army, and we also have a use case with them. Then we go in Iași, again, with the red is the national NOC. So basically there, we terminate the national link, and from there, we connect the Ministry of Education point from Iași, and we also connect two universities, Alexandru Ioan Cuza and Technical University of Iași. And we also have medical center, so it is a Imago Mall. Basically, it's a hospital, and the hospital is represented in this project by a consortium called Imago Mall. In Cluj, again, the red one is the national NOC. We have, again, the Ministry of Education here, and we have a research institute, CTIM, we have a university, and also we have the Advanced Technology Institute, which is a special communication one. Timișoara, same thing here, and Craiova, and Constanța, I was telling you earlier, connecting the Port Authority with the university. Here you can see a summary of all the distances. So you can see here the attenuations of the fibers. So we see here 23 kilo. These all distances are in meters. So basically here are 23 kilometers. In total here we have 160 kilometers of length of fiber, which we'll be covering with QKD links. Okay, the QKD equipments are in the same spot as the national ones. We are waiting for contract signing. Some few slides about the work we have done on the quantum training education hubs. Basically, we had one deliverable. We have creating a book with the basic quantum theory. So it's basic quantum theory. We tackled QKD in the last chapter, but the first chapters are about qubits, entanglement, teleportation, and in the end, we introduced the QKD theory. So this is a basic theory quantum book. Further, we had created an examination platform. So throughout the quantum hubs, we wanted to create an excellence and also give certificates to users after they follow our courses. So they will have a participation diploma. So for example, we already had a couple of trainings until now. So we had one in December. We had one in Constanța last week, and we'll have at least 3 more. And after this, each training, they are enrolled in the platform we have created, and they are able to get the diploma of participation if they are following some tests. And in the end, it's the final certificate which one can obtain after following our courses. And all these are learning platforms we have deployed based on Moodle, and all the certificates we are seeing here are basically automatically generated if you pass a test, a multiple question test. Regarding the quantum hubs, we have 17. We have established 17 quantum hubs, basically covering all the regions in Romania. And as I told you earlier, trainings are in progress. Regarding the use cases, as I told you, as an in-kind contribution, we have from UPB two pair of equipments, ID Quantic, Cerberus equipments. And with them, we have creating some basic use cases like file transfer, secure file transfer using the one-time path protocol, sorry. And also we have creating a secure VPN connection using post-quantum cryptography. Basically, the key that is needed for this VPN, it is drawn from the QKD equipments. And also we have, it is not here, but we also had a secure video call over this VPN. Okay, this was all from my side. Thank you for your attention. So if there are any questions right now, I'll be here to answer them.
Thank you very much, Mihai. This was a very interesting presentation as well. It seems to me that you have done very detailed work, and I feel for you that you're still waiting for the paperwork to be signed because it sounds like you're just ready to start right away. Did I understand you correctly, though, that all your links are a free space and nothing will be fiber, terrestrial fiber?
No, all the links will be fibers. So what I
Okay, so then
presented
I
you,
misunderstood.
this is the current network, RoNaQCI network, and basically over this network, we'll have another core and we'll develop only fiber links, no space links.
Okay, okay, okay. Then I misunderstood. Thank you. I had one question concerning the services that you offer in your fiber. You said that you were thinking in some cases to integrate it with your existing service and in some cases have an extra fiber. Do you also consider time and frequency transmissions in one of your channels?
So you are saying that to put a quantum channel on or
Like for instance, some NRENs use channel 44 for time and frequency in the C band to be able to have time and frequency signals. Aside from what they would want to do with quantum. Is that an issue in your consideration?
it depends. Here we depend on our vendor here. So we have Sienna equipments. Um, I don't have an answer for this. So at this point, everything we have to do, we have to consult with them. So I don't have an answer. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions? I don't want to ask all the questions and take time from you all.
I would like to ask a question.
Please go ahead, Elizabeth.
I really liked your presentations, Mihai. Thank you very much. My question is, you said you wanted to multiplex the signal, O band and C band. And my question is, and I'm sorry if I didn't catch it. So you want to use for the QKD the classical, 1550 or like the C band version, and then for the communication and for the KMS systems, the O band. Did I understand correctly?
No, the other way around. So
the other way around. Yeah. Okay. Because I just wanted to say that we did a little experimenting with 1550 and 1320. And we actually realized that most people are doing it the way that I just described, but it's actually very the other way because of the forward Raman scattering. So yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
So I'm not an optical specialist, but this was the recommendation also of the producers of the boxes, because in the first I proposed them, okay, let's put the let's put the quantum channel there, and they told me about this stuff, and we have chose to go with the 1310 with the quantum channel. Thank you very much for the question.
I have another question. Mihai, you had one slide where you showed the distances of the links and the attenuation that you expect and that you put in the tender. What you said there's a limit of 30 dB. How did you come up with that? Is that by experiments or?
No, so actually, this is a limit of equipment you will find in the market. So actually, also on the DVDM network, all what we have it's limited at 30 dBs, and the producers, the equipment's manufacturer doesn't recommend more. Again, in the DVDM we have the Raman amplifiers, we can reach more, but to have a well-suited network, you have to have 80 kilometers and under 30 dBs. Regarding the QKD, again, we did a market prospect between multiple vendors. We have touched 3 vendors, Toshiba, ID Quantic, for long distances again, Toshiba, ID Quantic, and QTI, which matched this, and they were the only ones offering 30 dBs. All the others are much, much lower. So this is what, so again, this is not experimental. This is what are the offerings at the current.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you very much. I see a question in the chat. The book looked interesting. Is it publicly available? If so, can we have a URL?
Actually, all our deliverables, almost all of them, were public, and the book was one of the deliverable. But here is a funny story. I would ask to remain here in this conference. So actually, the book was rejected by the not by the project officer, but by the reviewers, because it's too technical. It's too hard to understand for the people in the industry. Again, it is a very nice book created by my colleagues. Again, let's say I'm a systems expert. I have theoretician colleagues which are more on mathematics on the theory, and they created the book. And we have redone the deliverable, and the book will be an annex. So when the deliverable will be accepted again, I don't know which is the time frame, it will be available. Christopher, so if you are interested in the book, if you can email me, so I think you can find my email on the registration, and I can send the book technical. I don't have another technical book. So no, that is the only book that was produced at this point by our consortium. So if you are interested in the book, please email me and I'll try to send to you unofficially until the official one will appear as a deliverable of our project. So it will appear for sure publicly because it's a deliverable of our project. We have to a little bit to reinvent it. It was not about the again, we had to resend it in another format. They didn't like that format.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question?
Sorry, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Regarding where you mentioned that you're going to use for long distance railway fiber. Am I correct?
What is the question? So yes, we are using the railway network. So basically the railway have a fiber optic company which is providing the fiber pair for us.
Okay, and my question is, doesn't the trains affect the quantum communication physical? I mean, if they are riding along the railway and along the fibers, does it affect quantum transfer or not, in your experience?
We didn't have, so from our experience does not exist. So this is what we are trying to achieve with this project. The experience of it is working, it is not. And here, again, what I know from my colleagues and I understood from the manufacturers, it's about polarization, dependent, independent. So again, this is a requirement in our tender, and they have come with polarization independent equipments, and they said that they won't be affected. We will see. So this is something we worry about. We knew, we put as a requirement in the tender. We'll see how it goes. We don't have other experience. So with the current equipments we have, we didn't do long distance deployments, as I told you. So these equipments we have for testing are only for short distances here.
Thank you very much for answer. My question is that we are also employed using railway fibers, and I got a little bit more assured that we can continue railway fiber. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will share the experience when we have installed them. Joseph?
Well, because you very correctly mentioned the polarization, and we did in the lab tests with polarization scrambler, both for, let's say, old-fashioned coherent one-way system, which is totally insensitive, but with one of, let's say, the newer BB84 with decoy states, it has changes in SOP or fast changes SOP under influence. This is our experience that this really might be issue in some cases, not in the whole.
Okay, that was a question.
So,
sorry, I didn't understand very well. So
no,
you
no,
got
no, no. This was comment. This was comment that some QKD systems are sensitive for fast polarization changes because we have two different systems in lab with polarization scrambler and do kind of hard testing for fast polarization changes.
Okay, thank you. So I heard you right now. In the first place, it got interrupted,
Sure.
so the microphone was
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No problem. Are there any other questions?
Doesn't seem to be the case. Mihai, will you be able to make your slides available to us so I can add them to the events page?
Allow me until tomorrow. I have to sync up with my team. Probably I will have to get down. I don't know. So I want to be sure that all the numbers are there. I will be able to publish. But again, everything I have published are in the deliverables, and I think the European Commission approved the deliverables, and they got automatically being published on the platform, so anyone can download them. Yes, I will send you the PDF presentation tomorrow, please.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. And someone also asked about the recording. I will make the recording available. We will turn it into a YouTube, GÉANT YouTube. And I will put the link in the events page, but it will take a couple of days. Okay, so thank you all very much for joining, and thank you again for the nice presentations and also for the questions. And I wish you all a nice afternoon and see you in the next InfoShare. Bye-bye.